My fellow Nerdicans, welcome back to another episode of the Jank Tank. Today we've got another exciting gameplay video for you. It is going to be King Cold versus Soul Unleashed Son Goku. This is a very old leader. He is from set 2, I believe. And this is part of the series where I want to just bring non-meta decks and bring them to like kind of going like rogue tier and below. So that's why I chose Goku. Tommy chose King Cold to play because it is technically a rogue tier deck. And I did get to go first this time. I went ahead and played a Borgos to draw a card. I am running the Bardock's crew engine behind Goku because it is a red Saiyan leader, so a lot of the abilities still proc for a lot of the engine. Because most of the Bardock's crew doesn't require a red Bardock leader, it just requires a red Saiyan, so that's really nice. So he swings in with King Cold for the first time. I take 1 damage. He dealt 2 damage to himself through his leader and field abilities because both of these decks don't have alternate awakenings. They both have to awaken at 4 life. King Cold, when he awakens, gets to restand 2 energy, whereas Goku, when he awakens, gets to draw 2 cards. A lot of the times I prefer the restanding 2 ability over drawing, but sometimes, it is what it is. Right now I am proccing Bardock's ability. Since Tommy did take the damage, I get to search the top 7 for a 1-drop played to the field, and neither that 1-drop nor the Bardock can attack for the turn. But there are ways to get around that for the Bardock at least. And then I draw 1 for the Borgos that got played. Then I tap 1 to EX Evolve. I get to search top 7 and place a 1-drop into my drop area, which I unfortunately believe I whiff this one. So I don't get to throw anything into the drop area. And one thing about this leader, this Goku leader, is on the front side, on its unawakened side, he does not draw at all. So you'll notice that I'm not really swinging, I don't really swing with my leader because I don't get any value off of swinging with my leader. Or I don't swing with my leader until he's awakened. Going into Tommy's turn 2. And I do apologize for the extra roughness in my voice. I am currently getting over a cold, so that is why I sound so much more rough than usual. Not saying that I sound very good at all in general, but that is why I sound a little worse for the wear, because I kind of am. So Tommy plays out his Unison, pluses up to play Anticipated Onslaught, drawing a card for the leader's ability, and then drawing a card for Anticipated Onslaught, and playing a Berry Blue. Ooh. So now he's proccing Berry Blue to search the top 7 for a field or another Unison. He decides to get Unexpected Invasion, I believe is what that's called. It's been a long time since I've played King Cold, but I'm pretty sure that's what that's called, is Unexpected Invasion. And then here we're going to get Tommy Awakening, so he's going to restand 2, and then boom! Got King Cold on the Awaken side. So he taps 1 to play the Unexpected Invasion, which is going to give his leader a 10k boost plus double strike for the turn. Now he's going to swing for 25 double. These are a 25 double, and I take that damage. Because going into my turn 3, I actually want to be trying to awaken now. Especially since he's starting to be able to get rolling, and he is awakened. So, boom, I awaken there. Combo with 1-drop Bardock in order to combo out of his attack. Alright, now we're going into my turn 3, and I am a lot less weary of awakening on my opponent's turn when my awaken condition is to draw 2 cards. If I'm playing a hybrid leader or one that restands 2 energy, then I tend to want to do that during my turn, but if I'm playing a leader that just draws 2 cards on awakening, I really don't mind awakening during my opponent's turn, because it actually gives me more resources to defend myself if they want to keep trying to come at face. So I swing. He uses Royal Supremacy to counter, and then KOs my 2 Borgos. I play back the Fasha. I was thinking about playing out one of the Borgos, but decided the Fasha was better because it's a top 5 search. And because he KO'd a card, he's going to play out Frieza. I choose the Double Striker Shugesh off the Fasha's ability. And here I spend my last energy to play Beerus Ball to counterplay the Frieza. Since so many things were going on, Tommy was nice enough to allow me to do that. So I swing for 15k with my lead, because now my leader can finally draw on swing. Then I swing with my Unison, which is sitting at 17k because it has a permanent that during my turn, it gets a 1000 power boost for each red Saiyan that I have on my side of the field. So he pops the field, which removes 1 marker from my Unison, as well as the anticipated onslaught KOing a 2-drop or less when a field is popped. And for those who don't know, this 5-drop Bardock that's on the field does have barriers, so that is why like a lot of the cards aren't. He's not attempting to use card abilities against him because he can't. Alright, so I went ahead and passed turn. He's starting his turn 3 right now. I'm just checking the Frieza's ability to just to see something. I was seeing if the ability to... You know what? I don't actually remember what I was looking at. This was filmed about 2 weeks ago, so I'm not positive what I was looking for there. So now he plays Unexpected Invasion to give his leader the boost and get a draw off his leader skill. And honestly, this was a really tough match for me because Tommy did a really good job of keeping my board clear and just limiting the amount of aggression that I can apply. Because in order for Bardock's crew, for anybody who doesn't know, in order for Red Bardock's crew to really be able to start pressuring your opponent, they have to meet Bond, and it's a Bond 3 of either Red Bardock's crew or Red Saiyans. So you have to meet those criteria. So I went ahead and countered the leader swing for his 25k double strike with attesting the opposition. That's why I've got my Roshi token out there. I know it's supposed to be a Cyberman, but I like my homemade token. And for anybody who's curious, that is Master Roshi lying in a giant pile of women's underwear. Pretty fitting for the character. Alright, so he swings with his Unison, and I'm not worried about the minus ability because he already used the plus ability to play a field. So I go ahead and activate Blocker here, because I'm just trying to protect what life I do have, and then I super combo because I am digging for a couple things. I think I was mainly digging for defense, but I'm not positive. Like I said before, this was filmed a couple weeks ago, so I don't exactly remember my thought process or like what I had available to me. Alright, so I charge for turn 4. Plus up on my Unison. Shuffle and then draw after the shuffle. So I go ahead and swing with Bardock. Then I use the Bardock's ability to play a Borgos, which allows me to draw a card. Here, Tommy forgets to... He remembers to remove the marker with the Unison's ability, but he forgets to pop the 2-drop. It becomes irrelevant because he does end up playing a counter that KOs the Borgos anyway, so he still ends up dying. But here I go ahead and pop the Mass Saiyan Unison so I can bring out the Piccolo Unison. For those who don't know, because this Unison isn't as prominent since it got limited to 1. It is a 2-drop Unison that if your opponent counters, you get to KO a 15k or less. And that's just its auto. Not once per turn, not anything like that, which is part of the reason why I feel like it got limited to 1. As well as the +1 being a draw 1, and then the -2 if you remove a card from underneath the Unison, as well as removing an additional 2 markers, you get to rejuvenate, which means you get to refill your life. Alright, now we're going into Tommy's turn 4. Alright, then he taps one to play the Berry Blue, and he was about to just go ahead and tap one to use Berry Blue's ability, but I reminded him to proc Berry Blue's auto, especially since he just forgot to proc the auto of one of his fields last turn, and he was gracious enough for me to let me play Beerus Ball, so I felt like returning the favor and being like, hey, no, remember your autos, like, make sure everything procs. So now he's going to proc Berry Blue to go ahead and play the Unexpected Invasion, proc the leader's ability to draw when the field is played. Alright, so I go ahead and attempt to topo, but he counterplays my topo. So I still get the negate, but I don't get the floodgate, which, I mean, does kind of suck, but it's still also fine. And I actually make a mistake right there as well, because when he counters with the cooler, I am actually able to KO the Berry Blue, because, oh, I actually remember. Yeah, because it's any counter. It's not just a counter attack. It's when your opponent counters. And right here, we're talking about how, because of the amount of fields he has on board, I actually can't choose the cooler for the Piccolo's ability, because since Terrified Realization is on the board, all of his Frieza Clan cards get a 5k boost. So that cooler is actually a 20k and not a 15k. So it actually gets around Piccolo's ability just for having that field on the board. So I go ahead and super combo up to combo out of this attack. And then I pitch the U7 to bean my leader, or the strats, I should say. Because for those who don't know, which most of you probably don't, this leader has an ability that, or an activate battle, that if you pitch a card from your hand, you can give it plus 5k for the turn. On the unawakened side, you can give it plus 5k for the battle once per turn, but on the awakened side, it's plus 5k for the battle, or for the turn, I mean. So it's much, much better on the front side. And it actually, I really like it because it essentially makes it so you don't have dead cards in your hand. Because any dead card you have, you can just pitch for his activate battle. So I swing with my my Bardock. Play out a Borgos, draw a card. And then he uses the leader's activate battle again to pop a field, which is going to KO one of my cards and remove a marker from unison. I think we may have forgotten the unison part though. And right there, I went to go KO the cooler with my unison's ability, and then quickly caught myself and was like, oh, never mind. He is out of range. So here I'm looking into my Z deck to see if there's anything that I want to play out. Because I do have 4 open energy, 3 Z energy, so I do have options available to me in my Z deck, but are they more important than the defensive options I have in my hand? I don't think so. I don't really remember, but I don't think so. So go ahead and swing in with my leader. Draw a card for the leader's ability. Combo off the token that is no longer a blocker. And Tommy takes the damage. I swing with the Piccolo Unison. He combos with Frieza to combo out. And then it looks like I ended my turn there. So with Tommy sitting at 1 life, me sitting at 2 life, this game is getting dangerously close to the end, and it actually makes me a little bit nervous because it is the start of his turn, and King Cold on turn 5, when played properly, can actually apply an immense amount of pressure. Luckily enough for me, right now he doesn't have a berry blue on the board, and if I'm not mistaken, both of his unexpected invasions are in the drop area. So I don't really have to worry about him dropping 1 from his hand in order to give the leader double strike. So as long as he doesn't have a berry blue on the field, I feel pretty safe as far as the leader swing is concerned. I do still have to... I was about to say I did still have to worry about the Unison swing, but now I realize he had an uninspected invasion in his hand. So I was just talking a bunch of hubbubaloo there a second ago, but whatever. So he gives his leader the 10k in double strike, and he also has the 2 20k bodies on the field, which is also really scary because I can only bean once, quote unquote bean once with this leader. So he goes in for 20. And then I Unending Awakening, which is technically like a counter anyway. But he counters my counter. And then I counterplay his counter, which minuses his whole board by 20. So now this is a 20k double striker instead of a 40k double striker, which is a lot more manageable. But I am tapped out and at 1 life, so it is still a pretty precarious situation. So he goes ahead and plays this King Cold. Pops the field, I remove a marker. I don't have a battle card that he can KO. Oh, well, with the field ability, I meant. With the King Cold that he just played, he gets to KO something, but with the field abilities, he doesn't get to KO anything. So he goes and swings for the 20 double, and I am Imposing Presence that by pitching an Unending Awakening, because I don't have the energy to pay for it anyway. And I figure if I can survive this turn, I only have next turn to be able to try and push anyway. So here he's swinging for a 20 crit. It would be 25 because of Terrified Realization, but because of Imposing Presence, it gets brought back down to a 20. He tries to combo up, and then I super combo out. He goes to swing with the Unison, and I'm not worried about him doing the minus because he already plussed up to play to give the leader the 10k in double strike. So I am not worried about the minus ability there. And then he swings for 25k double strike, or 20k, excuse me, because of Imposing Presence. And then he activates Battle to pop a field, because the last field he popped with the King Cold Battle Cards ability to play out. So I go ahead and combo out of that, and that is where I'm hoping that I can just apply enough pressure in order to win this game. I swing at him for 20. He counters with Dormant, and because Borgos wasn't on the field when I got Dormanted, he actually can't choose it with the Dormant, because the Borgos actually doesn't play out until auto timing starts to resolve, which is after the counter window. Alright, and then that's the game. If you like what you saw, go ahead and smash that like button, comment, and subscribe. Every little bit helps. Stay tuned for the deck profile of my Goku deck, and stay nerdy.